It sounds like he's saying there's two kinds of people. There's the sick and there's the healthy. He's not really saying that. It sounds like he's just going there because he doesn't have to go there. No. He's saying something deeper. He's saying, I did not come to the healthy. I came to the sick. Does that mean some are healthy, some are sick? No. The fact is, he didn't just come to Matthew's house. He came to the planet. You understand? He didn't just go to this house. It says he came to the sick. He didn't just come to Matthew's house. He came to Israel. He didn't just come to Israel. He came to the planet. So what is he saying? This whole planet is in need of a doctor. It needs a house call. And that's what salvation is. A cosmic house call. He wasn't saying the Pharisees are not sick. They are sick. But for him to condemn his association with the tax collector and the prostitute, they're missing the point. He's saying this is why I've come. But not just to them. I've come to the world. They're all sick, yes, but this whole world is Matthew's house. This whole world is the underworld of heaven. Messiah is not ashamed to enter the house of Matthew. He's not ashamed to go into this house because he's there not to get from it. He's there to bless it. He entered into the house of Matthew. He enters into the house of this world. He doesn't condone everything that's going on. He didn't agree with everything they were doing or everything that their lives were. I don't think he had to. I think they just look at him. And the mere fact he was in the house was enough. He comes in to our life. He doesn't condone everything in your life. He doesn't condone everything in my life. But he still comes. He still comes. He's not ashamed to call me his brother. He's not ashamed to call you his brethren. Even though we give him a lot of reason to. He should be ashamed, but he's not. Why is he in our life? Because we need him and he loves us. Period. Why was he in Matthew's house? To have a good time? No. To compromise? No. He was in it, he wasn't of it. He was making his house call. The doctor makes a house call. This is years ago, they used to make house calls. So he's making a house call. He was always there to give and to bless. He didn't judge them, he knew their sins. He came to redeem them. That's why he was at the party. Just him being there was the healing. Just the presence of Messiah is healing. He didn't have to teach. He didn't have to do anything, I'm sure. Just to be there with them. That was the beginning of their healing. That was God. That was the gospel. God so loved them, he went to them. His very presence is healing. He will never withhold his presence from the one who truly seeks it. Never. His very presence. You want healing? Just be in the presence of the Lord. You don't have to go to a healing miracle service. You don't have to do certain formulas. You need to be in the presence of Messiah. You stay in his presence and he will bring wholeness, healing, shalom to your life. His very presence is healing. He is healing. He is wholeness. But you got to be in his presence. And so sometimes the greatest way you show God's healing is to just be in someone's life. Sometimes you don't have to say, like if someone just loses somebody. This week we had 3 people. 3 people. Sometimes some believers come and someone just lost somebody. They come to the people. And they'll say, okay, well, you know that, the person's, you have to rejoice because he's with the Lord. Well, that's true, but that may not be the right way to go about it. Thus, you could just quote scriptures, but that is not necessarily what God is saying to do. The scripture is the word, but sometimes you have to just live it. If someone's mourning, you're just being there, and being there because of Messiah means everything. Means everything. He just said in Gethsemane, just be here. So we need also just to be, and sometimes our sticking with each other, not giving up on each other, even though we'd like to, that is healing. You look over the long time, some people came in these doors, some of you, when you came in these doors, we said, okay, but what happened is, People kept loving him. Kept loving him. Almost gave up, but the Lord just held it by a thread. No, almost kept loving him. Kept loving him. And you see the healing. You see the change, because it's God's love. You know, he makes it so it's hard for us to give up on each other. Healing. Heal. And he brings healing because he's just good. He's just good. He's just good. The Pharisees were walking around judging each other, saying, hey, you know, we're good, we're holy, and that just made people feel more rotten. But he came, and his goodness wasn't the kind that says, hey, look at how I'm doing. What's wrong with you? He doesn't do, you know, the Lord doesn't say, look at me, look how good, and look at you. His goodness is given to us. In Hebrew, he's called Adonai Tzedkenu, the Lord, our righteousness. You know, he is our healing. If he's doing good, I'm doing good. That's the way we're supposed to be.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA.